What's up, everyone? Episode 1 of my podcast is called Creative Attribute. We'll think of a name in the future. We'll think of a better name in the future. But I want to do this. This is going to be something special. I'm going to be doing this weekly. It's going to be a podcast where I talk with different people that I'm working with on a personal level, working overseas and so forth. It's going to be a great way for me to introduce animators, cosplayers, artists, small entrepreneurs as well in a similar field. I think it's going to be something cool. I haven't done this before, so it's going to be like a weekly podcast where we just talk about things that I find interesting, things that they find interesting, and if you're already on the video itself, then you find it interesting. I'd like to introduce the one and only Harrison Senpai. What's up, buddy?
Thank you. Oh, it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really excited. Can't wait.
I'm super excited. We'll start off with just a basic introduction, but before we get to your part, I just want to say thank you so much for being on here. It's pretty cool because I've been watching your content, no bullshit, for the past, I'd say 3 or 4 months.
Thank you.
It was cool because like I've been watching anime for like 15 plus years. Just started reading manga about a year ago. I was anime only for the longest time. Just started reading manga because I mean like podcasts weren't really a popular thing for me. I usually just watch like tons of YouTube videos and like streams. But then I was like, what the hell? Like, I love anime. I have no one to talk to because all my friends don't like anime. I'm like, who the hell like shares the same interests as me? So I was just on YouTube typing in like, I don't know, Full Metal Alchemist reviews and stuff like that. One Piece has been going on for like 20 years. So every single Saturday I see the new episode come on, and I'm just like, holy shit! Like, let me just watch this damn show, catch up to One Piece, because this shit's on all the time. And then once I started watching One Piece, I started like going on YouTube, finding other people that like watch the show because I know that's been going on for a long time. And as soon as I typed in One Piece reviews, a ton of content creators popped up. Naruto reviews, a ton of content creators popped up. And then Black Clover, a ton of content creators popped up. And that's how I came across your profile on there. And the reason why I decided to hit you up first is because, one, you're on the grind every single day, at least 2 or 3 videos a week, and you're not just doing like I don't know, I'm not gonna say mainstream, but like the super popular series. You're doing series they're on the come up, the next generation, as people like to call it. So leading into that, what made you do anime reviews in general, and why did you choose Black Clover, Boruto as like the focus of your channel?
Well, I think a bit like what you said about how I've been watching anime not quite as long as you. It's been about 5 years.
What?
And at first, I mean, like you said, there was no one really in real life to talk to. It was mainly online, and then you stumble across YouTubers, like you said, and you start watching them, and it feels like you have someone you can indirectly talk to about the series you love. So as I enjoyed so much watching them, and at the time I've been doing YouTube for like 8 years, just on and off, doing tons of different things over tons of different channels, and I thought I could put the two together, and then I could kind of be that person who I used to watch for other people. So I could be the person that people who may not have people in their life that they can actually talk to about anime, I can be the one that they can talk to about it, and we can start a conversation, build a community. And that's basically it. Just so there's someone extra for people out there who may not have people they can talk to about anime or manga, I can fill in that gap. That's what I like to think it is.
So what were some of the first few shows that you watched on anime that really got you hooked into it? Because for me, when I started watching anime, it was okay. So I know people don't like to call Pokemon and Digimon anime for whatever reason. I don't know why. But when I was in grade 1, those were the shows that came on right when I got home from school. So that's when I started watching it, because it was different from like the Nickelodeon TV shows and just the animations and the color schemes and art design in general. was a lot different. But when I
Mhm.
started watching that, Inuyasha used to pop up, Metabots, like there were so many different shows that popped up at the time, and I didn't even know it was anime. I just knew it was something different. But I've been watching it for like since grade one, and I'm 25 years old now, so I've been watching it for actually probably more than 15 years. But like I've been watching it for a long time. So what was some of the first few animes that got you into the industry?
Well, I think, like you said, Pokemon, Digimon, Yu-Gi-Oh, things like that were, they were kind of like the early stages. Without me knowing what anime was at the time as a kid, I'd occasionally catch episode. I mean, I adored the Pokemon games, so whenever I could watch a Pokemon episode, then I'd be right there watching it. But like I said at the time, that to me, I didn't know. I just viewed them as cartoons.
Mm-hmm.
To me, I didn't know any different until a few years ago, 5 years ago, probably. Like I said, I used to do Pokemon content on YouTube, and there was a Pokemon content creator who I followed and look up to, and he was going on about Fairy Tale,
Oh
and
no! Okay. I watched it too because I was a fan of Rave Master, and I had the Rave Master games for GameCube. So I had high expectations for Fairy Tale. But sorry, continue.
So yeah, I mean, I look back on it now and I understand the reputation it's got.
Yeah.
So Fairy Tale is what got me into anime. It was my very first proper anime. It's the first one I ever binge watched, and honestly, I recognise that it overall probably not as great as I originally thought it was, but as it got me into anime, there's something about it which I kind of enjoy. But yeah,
I think
it was.
the first, I'd say 50 episodes were actually really good. Like I liked the vast cast of the characters, and I liked it better when they were hanging out inside their guild, like the main guild hub, and you got to meet all the different casts, because it was actually funny. I read the manga first before the show got turned into an anime, because my friend told me to freaking check it out, and I liked the first 50 episodes, but after that it fell into the Pokemon trope of like doing the same things over and over again and winning in the same fashion over and over again. And that's when I dropped it. I was just like, I can't do it. Like I already watched Power Rangers, they do the same thing. Pokemon, I can't, man. I just can't.
Yeah, I know what you mean. The start, and I think it's probably because I didn't have anything to compare it to at the time. For example, if I started Fairy Tail now, the chances that I'd drop it would be probably very high.
Are you reading the Eden Zero manga?
I started it, and I dropped off it, but I do plan to maybe pick it up again at some point, see if it has that same love I had for Fairy Tail at the beginning, see how that goes.
I think 100-year quest or 1,000-year quest.
Yeah, I heard about that. I checked out a chapter, but I wasn't a manga reader for Fairy Tail. I mean, I know what happens in the manga now. I've read up on it and I've read parts of it. So I'm kind of just watching the anime here and there when I've kind of got nothing to do.
You know what's weird?
And then if they ever give the 100 quest one an anime, maybe then I'll check it out. But for now, it's not something that's on my priorities.
You know what's super weird? I'm messed up. I don't like the Fairy Tail anime. I haven't watched the Fairy Tail manga, but I'm torturing myself. But I'm up to date on the Fairy Tail 1,000-year quest, 100-year quest. I'm up to date.
Okay.
I read that weekly, and then I'm up to date on Eden Zero. I'm caught up. I read that weekly as well. So I don't know, man. I'm just perverted that way. I just like.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Like it's okay. It's not the greatest, but I mean, it's what everyone likes to consume content, so. It's whatever.
It's kind of like Fairy Tail was kind of like my guilty pleasure anime. It's like I enjoy it. I know it's not great, but I get enjoyment out of it. That's the main thing.
And the characters, like, oof.
I know it's great. It's not the best, but does its job.
I like the main characters. Aside from that, they could do better. Now, moving forward, I saw that you've been getting into One Piece. I know that you've been reading that. To be honest, I haven't read. I started reading the manga where are you right now? Can I spoil it for you? Like, well, do you already know?
I am. I mean, I know a couple of things that happened down the line because my best friend, he's all caught up today on One Piece, and being in the community, I heard a lot of One Piece before I actually started it.
Yeah.
But I think as of right now, I've just finished the Sky Pier arc.
I skipped all of that. I watched the anime first, up to when they got Robin. No, not even.
Right, okay.
I skipped even parts of Robin. I legit watched the anime when they got up to Chopper. And then after that,
okay.
I fell off. Like I didn't watch the anime for like decades. I didn't read the manga until last year, but I missed like literally 300 to 400 chapters and episodes.
Wow.
I'm caught up now because I watch a ton of podcasts and they talk about that for like hours on end. But I envy the guys that actually are caught up and they know every single freaking part of it.
Yeah.
Because I skipped it all. So how is it for you starting from the beginning? Especially since this is the big question actually. You're reading it when it's out of in this era. Like you're reading it in 2017, 2018. That content was not supposed to be read, but it was designed for that time period. So how is it for you, like pacing wise, to read that now?
Well, I can definitely admit that I think the first few arcs, up until I think it's Arlong Park, which is probably like 80 chapters in, maybe something like that. Yeah. Before then, it's not bad, but I didn't find it to be very special. It was definitely, I think the pacing isn't what you'd be used to nowadays. It was much more slower. You could tell it was built to be something that would last a long time. But I think actually knowing parts that happen in the future actually kind of helped me keep reading because I knew something would be coming however long down the line because a friend would have told me, I would have known beforehand, and I'd read something and it would have been hinted at and I would have picked up on some foreshadowing and I would have been like, that's crazy. So, and the characters, the One Piece characters are great, but I do think the start, it was, like I said, it wasn't bad, but if I didn't know how good One Piece or the high reputation that One Piece has later on down the line, I probably would have fallen off it.
That's okay. So that's exactly why I dropped it, because the pacing was too slow. Given that, looking back at it in hindsight, I understand why. It's like 20 years running, thousands of games, thousands, like a ton of movies, and they're still going out. So like, but the reputation. So it's funny because I stopped it, right? But every Saturday for the past 15 years, you see that new episode of One Piece come out. New episode of One Piece, and I'm just like, guys, how is this? I'm like 800 episodes deep, and I'm like, why is this still going on? So that's when like it piqued my interest to start listening to anime reviews, because I want to know why the show was still going on. And when I started diving into the different podcasts and stuff like that, that's how I found you. That's how I found a few of other content creators that I'll be having a podcast with in the future. But like, it's reassuring that there's a lot of people that share the commonality of anime and manga, and we have a platform to talk about it. So, and I'm super happy that you're covering a different aspect of it as well. You're not covering the Bleach is done, but like the mainstream ones that are hitting right now. You're covering kind of the underdogs. So what makes you? Because one of the ones that you're really heavily on is Black Clover. Boruto on the side. I'll get to that in a bit. We'll get to that little punk in a bit. But what makes you like why do you like Black Clover, Asta, and everything, like the whole cast of that show, like, and the manga actually?
Well, I think so. My favorite anime, not the best anime, but was my favorite. I think Hunter is now my favorite, but one that I will always love for however long I live is Naruto. That I remember binge watching that so quickly. I'd wake up in the morning and I wouldn't go to bed until like 4:00, and I'd just watch it all day. So I adored Naruto. And then I remember seeing advertised on Facebook about Black Clover, and it said from the same studio of Naruto. And back then, I just presumed in my head as a as a little idiot as I am, that meant the Naruto creators did it. So
Yeah.
I started watching it, and at first I was like, this ain't bad.
Yeah.
And then I went through a phase where I didn't really watch much anime or read much manga, and I thought a few months had passed by, so I caught up to the anime, and I was like, this okay, I like where it's going. So I started reading ahead in the manga, and I think it's the only series I've read that has given me that same feel and same love that I had back when I used to watch Naruto. Like when I was catching up to the manga, it was so incredible. I blitzed through it so quickly. It was so good. And I think that's probably where I fell in love with it, because it kind of gave me the same feel like I got years ago when I watched Naruto for the first time.
It's the opposite pacing of One Piece.
Yeah, it's so fast.
It's like every week is and it's actually refreshing, because the downtimes that it does have, it's not like 3 or 4 chapters of just filler downtime. It's like a few pages, and then you're back into the action.
Exactly.
That's one thing that I really like. So I don't read the manga. I'm an anime only for that series.
Okay.
And I like the anime. I watch it every week. I watch your reviews and your reaction to that as well, just to double check if my theories, my feelings of it is correct. And then obviously on Twitter, I see you constantly talking about like the animations of it. You're impressed with how they created the animation based on like, because it's hard when the animators. Okay, well, we'll get into one important topic in a bit, but one reason why I don't like reading manga and then watch the anime, it's just because like I'm not the type of guy that likes to re-watch the same thing. It's like deja vu for me. It's just like, God,
yeah.
Promised Neverland, for instance. I'm caught up on the manga, and I can't even watch the anime. It's just like I just can't. So because it's the same thing over and over again, I just can't do it. But certain scenes I will watch because those are the scenes that like got me goosebumps, or it's a fight scene or something. It's content like that I like to watch. What was your impressions on? I'd say the first real fight. The first real fight for. No, I'll explain what I mean. The first fight for Asta, when he showcased his, I don't even know what to call it, his demon form, his dark form, like the first.
Oh, okay, yes, okay.
And everyone was talking about how, the animation shit, or this and that. Like, what was your impressions on that fight scene? Because people judge, I don't know why, but people judge animes off of their fight scenes, the choreography. They
do, yes.
Rather than the content and the context behind it. So what was your impressions of that? And just in general, like what did you like and what did you dislike about that fight scene in particular?
Okay, now, I don't think it quite lived up to my expectations, because it was being hyped up beyond belief, and I was expecting something incredible. What I got was I still loved what we got. I thought the animation, which is an unpopular opinion, I thought the animation was really good. Okay. I thought the art style just felt a little bit off. I think that was the main problem for me. It reminded me a bit.
For a second, because
go ahead.
We need to educate people really quick. Art style and animation, although they coincide, yes, they work together. Duh, they are two different things. Like,
they are.
Art style is the color palettes, the shading, the line art, and stuff like that. The animation is like the fluidity, the key motions, the in betweens, like the fluidity of it. So the fluidity is amazing. Like, honestly, the way that it was great. Yeah, traversed from not even just one battle scene. Like, they're going through the forest, they're going in the air. Like, come on, like the overall, it was amazing. The art style that they chose, I kind of don't blame them, because like, and I think you agree with this, like the working conditions and like the deadlines in Japan with regards to animations are heavy. Like, they don't have
they're crazy
as what we would like them to have. So sometimes they have to do shortcuts, and that's probably why they toned down the art style. But like, guys, don't get it twisted. Like, they're two different things. Like, that fight was amazing.
It was, yeah.
It doesn't have like the replay value as like a Bleach fight or a Naruto fight, but when I watched it, bro, I was getting goosebumps watching it. I'm like, yes, this is what I'm talking about. Like, I love it when the main characters go demon form, you know, when they snap. Like, that's actually one of my favorite parts for any shows, when like the main character just snaps. So
yeah.
And I got a question leading into that. What and then we'll get off the Black Clover topic, but do you see yourself, real question, do you see yourself championing or promoting Black Clover because it's an underdog series, or do you genuinely see the potential for Black Clover, because it's already doing well in terms of sales, and it already has like a huge fan base, to be honest, but do you see yourself sometime, not all the time, promoting it and showcasing that this is like a great anime or manga because it's an underdog, or do you actually see like a lot of value in it as a series?
Well, the first thing is I enjoy it. That's the main thing. I'll always just talk about what I enjoy, but I truly believe, and I've been saying it recently, that I think 2019, for the manga especially, because obviously, I mean, you said you was an anime only, and it only gets better. Okay. Each arc is constantly better than the one before it, and I think that's the beauty of Black Clover, how you think you've hit an up and then it just gets better and better. And I think with what's to come, because currently in the manga it's going through an absolutely fantastic arc, and if it carries on from after that, I think 2019 will be an absolutely huge year for Black Clover, and I really think that it's only going to go up and up. And the creator, Tabata, said that if he had it his way, he'd aim to get Black Clover to go on as long as Naruto or even One Piece. And that just excites me, because the amount of possibilities that he can keep bringing. And at the same time, it does worry me, because as we said earlier about how absolutely lightning fast Black Clover goes, you sometimes think, I think to myself, how is he going to get it to go on for 700 odd chapters? But I'm really excited to see where it goes. And I think that's the beauty of it. It's like a classic shonen, and it just keeps on getting better.
I think it will go on. And the good news is that they greenlit, what was it? It's going on right now, but they greenlit an additional 40 or 50 episodes for the anime.
Mm-hmm.
So why would they do that if they weren't generating some sort of buzz, income, you know, if their brand wasn't growing and increasing, like the perception is changing.
Yeah, like, exactly. I mean, the anime has definitely had its a lot of people do hate on the anime. I mean, when it started, there was the whole things with the screaming.
Yeah.
People were turned off by that. It does get at times the animation can be a bit off in the anime, but it's just unfortunate. The cast, the crew behind the Black Clover anime, I believe they're very short-staffed, which is unfortunate. But the fact that they've overcome those hurdles, like people being turned off by the voice, by pushing out episodes each week with just such a short staff, it makes you wonder that, you know, they keep on overcoming those hurdles. So clearly Shueisha, Studio Pierrot, TV Tokyo, all of these, they truly believe that Black Clover can be their next Naruto, essentially.
Now, with the amount of work that they put in, you and I both know this, like sometimes the art style could dip. Sometimes the quality could dip, because you're putting out a lot of stuff and a lot of content. Not everything could be perfect. Like I'm working on 2 comics, about to be 3 comics, and I hire a few artists to work on it. Sometimes you need to have an assistant. Like I have a few main artists, and then I have a few assistants of the main artist, and sometimes their quality is not as good as the main one. But you have to do it because it speeds up production.
Exactly.
And it gets more work done, and the quality dips sometimes. That's just with anything. I know for you, I'm not going to speak for you, but you might know this experience is that when you're releasing a video and you edit all your videos yourself, right?
Yeah.
And stuff like that, you produce it all. Okay. So I know that sometimes you might have to cut corners in order to pump out the video on time.
Definitely.
And throughout the week.
100%.
So it happens. And this leads to a perfect thing, is like, when you started your channel, I know you've been doing YouTube for over 8 years, as you mentioned. You got into the anime review space and the manga review space relatively recently. What's something that what's some of the tricks? You don't have to explain in detail like every nuance of it, but what have you learned that helped you increase like the process of doing videos? So like obviously the first time that you did it, it was rough, and as you get more experience, it gets better. What are some tricks and stuff that you taught yourself and you learned that helps you speed up the production of it and to like increase like the process of creating a video or script writing or editing and stuff like that?
Well, it's a hard one because I almost feel as though I'm still learning that answer myself, because I do, like you said, yeah, there's a lot of times where, like you said, about cutting corners, where I'll record a video and I'll get into the editing, I'll look at the time, and it may be on a certain topic that I think if I don't get this out soon, then it's going to have been a waste, because, you know, the topic may have died out. So sometimes I'll be editing, and maybe before I've recorded the video, when I first get the idea in my head, I'll be like, I can edit this and I can do this and this, and the time comes when I'm editing it, and I'm like, I'm not going to have time to do what I originally wanted, so I have to kind of cut corners and sacrifice some things in order to get it out. So I think the main thing I've been learning is basically just organization. Make sure I'm organized. I have files on my computer in folders so that I know exactly where everything is. So basically just saving as much time as possible. I record on my DSLR camera, and that usually takes about half an hour to upload the footage into my computer. So I know during that half an hour, I've got time to make thumbnails, get anything I need ready for editing, background music, all that stuff ready. So I've always got to make sure that I just use my time wisely.
Now, when I work on my project and stuff like that, like the folder thing, I have, like especially when I'm promoting content, I have a folder for everything. Some things are like some things are scattered within a folder, but I have a folder for everything. Like when I'm promoting content, I have folders for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, at each post in each folder, and I have the Word documents associated with it. Like I had to learn that, and I started doing comics a year ago, but like the first few months everything was scattered, right? All my content was scattered, my scripts were scattered, and then I realized like I had to have like the self-awareness, I had to like really sit down, lie down on my bed, or go jogging, like really meditate and think about like, this is what I love to do. Because like I'm 25 now, but like growing up and going through school, I've learned like, I knew I wanted to get into business and business management, but I always thought that I had to do something traditional, because that's how society and how I was raised to an extent taught me that I had to do like, if I were to get into business, I had to do like, in marketing for instance, because that was like my specialty, that is my specialty. I had to do like commercials for TV, or I had to do commercials for like a billboard, like, stuff like that, like the trade shows. And when I went to college, I had to learn like the traditional marketing and traditional aspect. But not until last year where I decided like, no, I like anime, I like manga. I see other YouTubers and other people doing that, making a living from it. Like I have to break out of this construct that society made me and do stuff that I find that I love, and try to find a way to make a profit out of it in order to make it sustainable, right? So one thing that I did was I stopped working full time, and because I obviously do budgeting every week, every month, every day, so I understand like what my costs are at every moment. So I decided that I could stop full-time work part-time, still make enough to pay my monthly expenses, and then the time and the money that I have left over, I reinvested into my business. So I started a company, have it registered, trademarked a bunch of stuff, because I have the free time now. That's kind of something that you're going off of. That takes time. I'm always going to learn, but it's the process of like experience and self-awareness that allows me to move forward. And it's most likely the same thing for you. Are you working? Do you have a side job on the side right now to help fund this project of yours?
It's funny you say that, because what I do full time is do digital marketing. So
what?
I do digital marketing.
Okay.
So when I was learning about that, because I was in college learning about it, and I was kind of, each time I was learning about something, I mean, it went in, but I was thinking to myself, I can use this in YouTube. For example, I learned about keywords and all of this type of stuff that I was able to put back into my YouTube stuff. So by doing full time, it's actually really helped me kind of learn much quicker than I was doing about YouTube and how it works. And it's kind of got me addicted to things like my YouTube analytics. So things like that. Can't stop looking at numbers. I've got too many spreadsheets. But yeah, to answer your question, yeah, I do have a job on the side while I do this.
Analytics, man. YouTube analytics, just analytics in general. When I look at the numbers behind the scenes, the back end, and you see how many average, not even just the average like hours consumed, I just like understanding like the trends of like what people like, what people dislike, the amount of time people are watching it, the amount of time they leave, like they join the video, they watch the video, they enter my website, for instance, and like the time that they that's actually the most important thing that I like to look at recently is what do they do, because for my website I have access to a little bit more analytics than YouTube. So like when someone goes on my website, let's say they leave within a minute, I like to track what they spend their time on in that minute. So for instance, I uploaded a feature where it's my side menu. I updated my side menu of my website, and I have like a code in a program that allows me to see like people that click on like whatever thing that they click on and like how long they hover over it and stuff like that. And if they click on a specific thing, I tell my web developer, make that font bigger, a little bit more larger. Or if someone clicks on a certain picture, then I would put that at the top of my website, whereas it's in the middle or at the bottom. So like I try to rearrange my content to suit the people that are actually going on it. And I know you understand that aspect as well. Like it's demand, right? So if people are demanding that, if they're clicking on it, then obviously I'm going to supply that. I'm going to feed their hunger. So that's what I'm doing on the side. For YouTube and so forth, are you specifically making reviews? Have you ever thought about, I don't know, starting your own podcast? Have you ever thought about other avenues of like getting content out there aside from anime reviews? Or like what's your thing on like that whole industry? Because right now you're making videos for that, but like have you ever thought about adding a little bit more content on that aspect?
Definitely, I definitely at some point would like to branch out while still sticking into the anime and manga community of that. I would like to branch out of just reviews and do some other things, maybe just chilled out funny videos, things like that. And then like you said, podcast, that was when I first started, probably like a year ago or so now. That was the very first thing I wanted to do, because I thought, I mean I've kind of learned now that there is quite a few, but at the time I thought I haven't seen many anime and manga podcasts. Like I said, now there's more than what I originally thought, but I thought I enjoy watching and listening to podcasts. I enjoy anime and manga. I'm sure I'm not the only one, so I thought I could get one together. Unfortunately, it's not happened yet, but
this is the start.
It's a start of something.
Dude, okay, aside from you, I don't know anyone else that does Black Clover, Boruto. I know a couple people. But what other series are those the two main ones that you're doing on your channel right now? That's the only ones that I watch. Are you? Yeah,
they're the main ones. There's a few anime coming out this year for series which I'd like to cover. For example, as you mentioned earlier, The Promised Neverland. I'm doing that because I adore The Promised Neverland manga. I mean, I've got the volumes here. I adore it. So I'm doing videos on the anime. There's some other manga that again anime adaptations that I've not seen later this year, like Doctor Stone and Kimetsu no Yaiba. I've heard good things about them.
I read up to like chapter 15 of Kimetsu no Yaiba or whatever. That's it. But the anime's coming out, so I think I'm just gonna drop it and then just watch the anime.
Yeah, that's what I was planning on doing. I'm waiting till the anime starts. Do some videos on them, but I think the main two are definitely Boruto and Black Clover.
Are you looking forward to One Punch Man? I know people have been hating on the freaking trailer that they released, like how the art style and the coloring is a lot different than the original.
Now, this might shock you. I've only recently started watching Mob Psycho, and I've never watched One Punch Man.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Dude.
but with season 2 coming out whenever it is, I mean, it's been so long, I don't know. Not too sure.
Yeah.
Is it this year it comes out? I'm not too
It
sure.
should be coming out this year, yeah.
Okay,
I
I
think
will probably.
spring or summer.
Oh, okay. I'll probably try and catch up ready for season 2 at some point. As the comments on the art style and colours and things you were saying that I've seen people complaining about,
Crying.
I've seen them. Personally, I mean, maybe it's because I've not seen it. I didn't really think it looked that bad, to be honest. I thought it looked fine.
What are your thoughts on Mob Psycho? Now that
Mob Psycho. Now, I've only recently, like, very recently started it. And all I can say is it's just like a beautiful mess of so much stuff.
That's
like the
awesome.
animation art looks stunning, and I just can't wait to keep watching.
That's what are you on? You're on season 1 right now, right?
I'm literally right at the start of season 1.
Okay, so and then you have season 2 right when you're done. So when you're finished season 1, oh, you're gonna be caught up to season 2 because season 2 is like 3 episodes in or something like that.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. You're gonna. I haven't read the mangas of that. I didn't even know it existed until the anime season 1 came out. That show is, oh my god! It's like the animations and everything. Like the characters are so. I love it because it's so bland.
Yeah.
But it's some of the best. It's one of the best shows that I've ever watched in my life because it just kicks the construct of like character design out the window. Like you think you need to have a character to look rigid or as fleshed out as like Naruto or Bleach, for example. Is like Bleach is probably looking at Mob Psycho like, what the fuck is this abomination? Because that is amazing. But I love it. And season 2, you're gonna watch season 1. You're gonna be like, yo, this is kick ass. But I want more. I'm not gonna say what you want more of. You're gonna develop that when you watch it. Season 2 is gonna fulfill that need. You're gonna be like, I want more of this, and then season 2 is gonna fill that need. Because honestly, I was surprised at like what season 2 has brought. That whole anime in general. Have you ever been to a convention, an anime convention? Any do they have them where you live? Like,
not an anime convention specifically. I've been to conventions that have had a lot of anime fans in and had quite a lot of anime stands, but I would love to go to like an actual full-on convention. There was one last year near me. Unfortunately, I couldn't go to it. But other than that, I don't think. And even then, it wasn't that big. I can't think of many big ones that happen around here. Unfortunately, I think I'd have to go elsewhere.
What about the States? You should.
I've thought about it definitely. I think at some point. It's on the bucket list of things to do because I know you have some huge conventions over there, and I've always wanted to go some.
Bro, okay, so there's 2 side points, man. Then we're gonna wrap this up. One, I've went to a couple conventions where I live in Toronto. There's a couple here, and dope. Like I need to dress up to them. I haven't dressed up. I'm in my casual clothing, but. I bought a couple posters. You're gonna see this when the video goes up, but there's a couple posters on my wall. Like a lot of talented artists sell their stuff there. A lot of just content in general. I'm going to the one in America. I think it's the biggest one. I think Anime Expo is what it's called.
Yeah, that's the one.
I'm going to that this year in LA. I'm planning on going to E3 as well because I haven't been to those ones of that size. Where they actually show like anime screenings of like seasons that are about to come out. Like I haven't done any of that, so I'm planning on doing that. I encourage you to do that as well, just as like.
I will. I mean, I've very rarely actually gone and done anything anime related outside because, like I said, I've been to there's a gaming festival, Insomnia Gaming Festival over here, and that's where the closest I've ever got to an anime convention. And then other than that, the only really thing I've done outside of here that's anime related is honestly probably going to watch the Dragon Ball Super Broly film. That's literally as far as I've explored the outside world of anime.
How was that movie, man? Because I loved it. And by the tone of my voice, you're probably gonna. There's a big but. I loved it.
Okay.
But and the biggest, juiciest but, like Thick butts. But I felt, oh my gosh, I felt that, I don't know, man. I'm a nerd. I want people talking, bro. I want context. I want more story.
I know
more
what you
plot. You know what I'm saying? Like, the fighting was sick, but I'm a guy, like, I'm at this age right now, especially when I'm writing. You script write like what your videos are gonna be about and all the stuff in life. I script write 3 different stories, and I just like more context to, like, I just want more storylines, more dialogue. Like, holy shit! Like,
yeah, I think I'd be the same, but, and this is going to be a bit of a shock, but
yeah.
I've never fully watched Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z. The only Dragon Ball series I've watched in its entirety is Super.
Oh my god!
So for me, I love the film because I associate Dragon Ball with fighting, and I wanted a huge ass fight, and that's what I got, so I loved it. I mean, obviously, I've watched quite a bit of Dragon Ball. I know the majority of the plot.
Yeah.
I've got friends who love it, so I did understand. Well, I understood pretty much everything.
Yeah.
But maybe that's just from my different perspective. I agree. I thought the plot of the film was pretty weak, pretty non-existent, to be honest.
Dude.
It was like 15, 20 minutes of backstory, and then it was just like 1 hour fight.
Yeah, dude, I actually, because it's up on a couple sites now, and everyone's posting on Twitter. So I was going through it to find a certain scene, and I'm literally skipping through like 30, 40, 50 minutes of fighting. And I was like, holy shit. I went into theaters. I'm like, holy crap, this is literally the longest. I think it is the longest fight I've ever, of anything. Like, the longest fight I've ever.
Probably, yeah. I mean, I remember watching it, and the fight started, as soon as the first punch was thrown and it started, I was like, okay. And I was like, this will be like the warm-up fight, and then something will happen and it'll stop, and then we'll get a bit more story, and then later on in the film we'll get the big finale fight. But the fight just kept going and going and going, and the next thing I know, the credits roll. And I'm like, I think I'm missing something here.
Bruh, like, I liked it that it didn't, like, interrupt, like, key parts of the fight to, like, talk.
Yeah.
Like, I like the best part of the film is when Frieza, and I'm spoiling it for everyone who hasn't watched it, I don't care. I loved it when Frieza capped that guy. His father just killed him.
That shook me.
Everyone in the theater was laughing. I was laughing. My brother was laughing. That was amazing. And you know what? No one even like brought it up afterwards. No one's just like, hey, whatever happened to this? Like, are we ever gonna resurrect the dude? Like, he just died, and then they just moved on. They never revisited it. I was just like, damn. Like,
I know. I mean, it's the only film I've ever been to in the cinema where once it had finished, everyone clapped. Yeah. Everyone in the cinema clapped, and I just felt obligated to clap along because it was great.
I saw some gangsters. I live like, there's some gangsters watching the film, right? Like, like straight up gangster looking guys, and they're just like clapping it up, like, yo, that movie is sick. And I felt intimidated. I had to clap too. I'm like, damn. All right.
It was so weird when I was at the cinema because I got there and I walked in, and there's just kind of like such a wide variety of people. Like, you'd see like an 8-year-old, and then it'd be like a 60-year-old, and they're all just there. And then it finished, and they're all clapping, and it's almost like it's magical how so many people are enjoying it.
Generational, because it's been, oh my god, it's been around for so long, and it's a good series. Like, holy shit, I wasn't expecting half the demographic in that movie, but I should have known better, because it's like Dragon Ball is that franchise, and I'm like,
exactly.
I can't wait until, like, that's why I can't wait for, like, right now we're in an era shift where people are obviously dubbing, what is it, Boruto, Black Clover, and I forgot the other one, My Hero Academia. The new big three. You're too early, guys. Like, you're like 10 years too early. Like, I get it.
Way early.
I get it. Like, I would, if I was making videos, I'd freaking have like 30 videos claiming that. But I like it how that's been like a generational thing. Like, everyone could watch it at any point of time. Like, my little brother, under 10 years old, he knows like half the cast of Dragon Ball, and it's just like, that's when you know. And I knew that when I was his age. Like, it's crazy. And I can't wait until like we get that new like generation of anime where people could watch the film or the anime or the show or whatever 10, 15 years from now and be like, go to the movies and watch it and be like, yo, this is a sick ass movie. Like, I can't wait. Like I love, and we're in that era right now where
Yeah.
the new shows are coming up, and I don't like the people that are hate. And that's one thing that I praise you on. We'll end it off on this note. That's one reason why I praise you is because you like it first and foremost. You like what you're doing, so do it. But you're also you're praising Black Clover for its glory. You're praising Boruto for its glory, and you're not shitting on it where other YouTubers that are like some other people do that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I could. I don't think I could possibly name 2 more hated anime series, but I love them.
That's what I'm saying, dude. You literally have a red flag, like just a mark, a marker, a hit marker, or an iron sight on you at all times, like.
Yeah.
And you're just championing. You're like, no, I love. Did you see that? Did you see that transformation? Did you see that?
Exactly.
And you're like, and you're on Twitter just going off, and I'm just like, dude, slay, like, show them why it's a good series. Stop hating, man. You guys are all haters. Like, honestly,
yeah, there's way too much negativity.
You're a cesspool of hate, and cut it out. Aside from that, dude, Harrison, it's been amazing.
Thank you.
Definitely do this again.
100%.
Thank you so much for coming on. If you have any last words to say to everyone out there, say it now.
Just one final thank you to you, and a thank you to everyone for managing to stick through and listen to me.
Thank you so much, man. I'll hit you up in a bit. I'll message you after this, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, we shall. Thank you very much.
Peace out, everyone. Peace.